Hi there. So my name is Zan Kavanaugh, and I am a forever entrepreneur. I am 48 years old, and I live in Boulder, Colorado. I just wanted to share this with you. That's my companion, Layla. And I've been wanting to kind of restart the story of what it is to become a founder, but using sacred principles and the sacred side of business. And I'd like to open up the dialogue on sacred economics and what that means and follow the flow. I feel like time is moving in a different direction, and there's so many things that come up, but there's a lot of us that are business owners that are in the linear, and we're moving forward and we're trying to make things happen, as I am. And I feel like there's other possibilities to align you up with your highest vision for your business. And so I talked to a friend of mine yesterday about creating a YouTube channel around talking about this and the process. So I'm going to just do it. And if you watch it, cool. And if you don't, cool. And if it helps you, awesome. And if not, so be it. But I have to document it because I'm really stepping out on a limb, even for myself. So a little past history, if you don't know who I am, there's me. I started a conscious bottled water company called Aqua Mantra Water in 2006. I was 35 years old and I had lots of gusto, and I just didn't give a shit. And I was like, yeah, it's time, because I really want to raise consciousness in humanity. So we created water with affirmations. I am loved, I am lucky, I'm healthy, I'm grateful. And I got them in Whole Foods, and we got them in Albertsons, thanks to my wonderful team. And I wanted to be the first ever biodegradable and recyclable bottle. We did that. And eventually what happened was I didn't really have enough cash flow to sustain the business. And the big guys were kind of trying to knock us off the shelf. But I will say that we were a 10-year-old company, and we're using quantum physics as the way to transform the water, using also Dr. Emoto's theories. That's EMOTO. And so it's kind of my entry point into quantum physics. And I was all things quantum physics, and I was on YouTube, and I was putting out content, and I was going to enlightenment schools, and I was in this drastic search to find as much information as I can, because I like to think of life as chutes and ladders. Up the ladder, down the chute. So after I sold, after running the company for about 10 years, my personal life took a shit. I lost 5 pregnancies. I got divorced. I decided to leave Southern California and go on my wild adventures and figure out what I wanted to do, what was my next phase, and traveled extensively, had an amazing journey. I lived in Fairfax near San Francisco, and then I moved up to Lake Tahoe, and then I moved up to Mount Shasta, and then I moved to Bend, Oregon. Had a wonderful time in all those places, but was kind of struggling with what my next vision was. I started a podcast, an online TV show on intentional communities, and I interviewed tons of intentional communities, but I knew that the marketplace wasn't ready for that. I also developed a tech company that was called Getting Goods, and it was about transporting goods through our cars, just like we do with Lyft and Uber, but really like being able to get, say, yoga mats from Bend, Oregon to Portland because somebody was just driving there. And right around the time that I developed that, a company called Roadie came out, and we just couldn't really make the numbers work, so it was really important that, at least we flushed it out, and I had a team, and everybody was excited to help me, but unless their numbers are there and your business can grow, then, there's no point in really like going forward. So that didn't really stick. Then I ended up leaving and going to Santa Cruz, California, and lived there, worked for a couple companies, and I'm very big in nutraceuticals and anything that's healthy for you. So I did some of that. And then I decided that wasn't working for me, even though Santa Cruz is absolutely beautiful. But I was looking for my next thing, the thing that I wanted to bring to the world, because I'm an Aquarius and I'm an inventor and a creator. And I really have this passion for those of us that are brave enough and courageous enough to do it, because it's hard. It's not just about like getting a product out and making enough money so you can buy a big house. It's about like really pushing yourself to your own limits, and sometimes looking yourself in the mirror thinking, I can't do this anymore. But at this time, I have nobody really, aside from all of my beautiful tribe of friends that have supported me along the way. There's nobody there that's like, yeah, you can keep doing it. So you are the one that has to say, yeah, keep doing it. So in 2017, I was living in Santa Cruz, and I was in a relationship that was not serving to me. It was beautiful and twin flame like, but it wasn't for my highest good. And so I had to pull myself out of that situation and decide what my next step was going to be. And so by trusting my intuition and my guidance, it was telling me that I need to get out of that situation. And the day that I was moving out of there, I got an idea. And the idea was that I really like to promote my friends. I have so many talented and amazing people that are doing great work in the world. And the internet's just getting incredibly crowded, right? We have Etsy and we have Shopify and all these big companies that are promoting all of us. But then how do we get the reach? Like how does anybody actually like get to them, right? Well, I got friends. I got 1,000 friends. So if I just put those things in one place, then I could just tell my friends to go to that one place and then they could buy. But then what if we took it a step further? What if you could actually be rewarded for that, right? Like an affiliate program, but actually like for everything. But what if we actually said thank you and we created gratitude around it? So that's the first beginnings of what's now called ShopGratzi, but at the time I called it Piece of Me. I had called a friend of mine, Wendy, and she's a whiz with being creative in promotions, and she was like, yeah, it's like a piece of you. It's like a piece of you that you're sharing. And so we called it Piece of Me for a while, and I really just vetted the idea. So, you know, when you start a business, you don't want to just like run out there and do it without making sure that people actually like use it, because otherwise you're just wasting your time. So I decided to take a long, slow approach to this because I really wanted to create a sacred vessel that would support people, that would help those of us that are travelers to earn money, that would also help people to give to charity if they didn't have the money to give to charity. Like, I think so many of us want so much more than what life is providing, and we're being taxed on in so many ways that I just wanted to make a difference. I can't do stuff unless I'm making a difference. And so hence I went on the journey and decided I was going to move to Boulder, Colorado, because, you know, it's kind of hippie like I am. And also because Denver, I had heard some stats about that there was 150,000 new businesses launching in Denver each year. Well, if that many businesses are launching, then there's definitely a support system. That, coupled with the fact that I did what's called astrocartography, which when you read your astrological chart of when you are born, an astrocartographist can tell you where it is that you might want to live. And you have these lines that cross over and tell you for certain aspects. And I had 4 lines running through the Denver Boulder area. Positive lines that I'm told are going to help me stand out and be more fluid and connection. And I'd mostly live all on the Pacific Northwest, which was unknown to me, was called a Saturn line. There was a Saturn line that literally ran almost every place that I lived. And the Saturn line was about challenges and overcoming, and it was like hard work. It was very enjoying because I was in nature, but it was a lot of hard work. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to go to where there's lines that are more conducive to what I want to do. And so I got my dog in my car and we drove all summer. We drove through Oregon and up through Montana, went to Glacier National Park, came down through Yellowstone, This was the year of the eclipse. We landed in Wyoming and got to see the full eclipse. And then I pulled into Boulder, Colorado around October. I didn't know anybody in Boulder at all. And at the time I was selling hemp products through Prime My Body, which is a hemp company. I'm a huge believer in hemp. Hemp is going to help and support our endocannabinoid systems to keep us in a preventative mode instead of a reactive mode, right? I think we're all getting clued in to what the pharmaceuticals have done to us. And it allotted me the ability to travel and to get here and to meet some amazing people in the community here in Boulder. And in December of 2017, I picked on a new partner, what we call a CTO, and I worked with her from December till about June on what is now called ShopGratzi, to really understand what it is that we were trying to do and get the metrics of it and work it, so I really took a long time to do that. And I took the year off from working because I didn't really want to get distracted. I wanted to focus on ShopGratzi. It takes dedication, and it was hard. I stayed with a lot of friends. I had so many people support me and allow me to live with them with not a lot of rent so that I could really forge my vision. And I drove Lyft, and I used the passengers in my car to validate my project, to make sure that they would use it. I talked to investors. I got really savvy. I got my projections and financials, but never really raised the money, which was really weird for me because my last company, I raised $150,000 in 2 weeks of me coming up with the idea, and I didn't even have a business plan. Now I have a business plan. I have the whole 9 yards. I'm prepared. I got an amazing team. And last year also, I had some rumblings with my first CTO where, I was doing a lot of the work, and she was kind of on board because she thought I was just going to give her some money to go and run with it. And that's what a lot of people do. And what I would say to anybody who's starting a business is, when you work for free and people help you in the beginning because they believe in you and they believe in your idea, those are the keepers, because those are the ones that are really out for success. So that got flushed, and I actually ended up partnering with a woman who I adore now, who's also an Aquarius, and we're just an amazing team, and we've really been cultivating and working this program. We branded ShopGratzi last year with a giraffe, and there's all kinds of fun stories that I'll be sharing, but I'm just giving you guys the overview because I'm gonna just start documenting this life as a founder. Now, I'm not a techie. I'm a 4-time entrepreneur. I had my own marketing company back in the 2000s. When I was in my 20s, I worked in an entertainment business, and I pulled scripts in, opted them, and turned around and sold them. I started one of the first ever online video press for the sport compact tuner scene. I started Aqua Mantra Water, right? So I've tried all the gamuts, and I thought, well, tech is great. Tech is fun. Tech is like the hot new thing. Well, tech is fucking hard. I really didn't think it was going to be as hard. And it's mostly because I'm doing something that's out the box, that's not utilized by, say, business or, what everybody's necessarily looking for. It's not a utility. We're doing something that's going to be fun and transformative and shift conscious consumerism. That's really what the focus is, because the mindlessness of our shopping right now is actually going to negatively impact our world. So that's something that I can dig my teeth in and lead the cause. So we all like to shop, right? It gives us joy. But what if we could shop and actually gift back to people and the brands that we love at the same time? So why don't we make this a triple win situation? And that's what I've been working on. And I'm just up here on a hike right now, taking some time to talk to you about who I am. And if you want to follow my journey, I would love for you to tune in if it feels right, because I'm going to be really talking about the sacred side of business. And it's so important. We as individuals strive for our personal well-being, right? we're doing all these seminars and we're learning so much about raising our chakras and, clearing our fields and changing our timelines and doing the things to get clear about where we want to go. But it's also for your business. It's also how you interact with your business. They are not separate. Although it's a separate entity, it's not separate. So it's important that you use those principles in business. And so I'm just going to pop on here and there. Sorry, this was a long video, but this was mostly an intro of who I am. And I'll provide any kind of tools and suggestions and things that I've used in the past to really support and grow my business. Like one of my favorite ones is when you get in a bind, you just say, how does it get any better than this? It can either be like an awesome statement of, oh my God, this is so amazing. This is so great. This investor called me back, or that investor called me back, or I'm moving forward. Like we have software right now that is ready to implement that will literally take us to the next level and get us on the field. And I'm about to launch a crowdfunding campaign. So all the steps are like unfolding in front of me. How does it get any better? That's what I have to keep asking myself. Thanks for listening.